Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon. We're continually showing graphs of how the likes of BYD and Volkswagen are catching up to Tesla, and they're each probably doing about 1/3 the amount of battery electric vehicles as Tesla. So, to be honest, that's not too far behind. Of course, they're not making profits doing it, unlike Tesla, which is probably a really big deal. But anyway, that's not the point we're trying to make here today. So I said Volkswagen is perhaps producing 1/3 as many vehicles as Tesla, but next year, Tesla will have about 4 times capacity. Even if Volkswagen or BYD grew another 50% next year, then Tesla will still have capacity of 8 times as many EVs than Volkswagen. Of course, that would be assuming that Volkswagen was able to sell that many EVs, let alone make them, compared to Tesla likely selling every single one they make. But look at how much faster Tesla will be able to scale up their battery production compared to Volkswagen's plans. Tesla think they'll have at least around 6 terawatt-hours of batteries by 2030, compared to Volkswagen at about 240 gigawatt-hours. That's 20 times as many. Granted, a lot of Teslas are for storage too. So anyway, even despite the vast majority of the biggest growth jump we will ever see in Tesla's history is potentially going to happen next year, even without these new factories, we've still seen almost 100% growth just from this year alone, from China's insane level of ramping up. So yeah, what's going to happen with 4 times capacity? Say if Tesla actually do hit 2 million in 2022 and then reach 4 million run rate by the end of 2023 when fully ramped up, then 2024 would be well over 4 million vehicles, potentially 5 million, and quite possibly a new factory opening sometime that year. Probably Tesla's biggest factory yet, which is such a big deal, and so many numbers can be recalculated once more information on this new factory is clear as to the future of this company. This new factory could be a Model 2 factory and end up having a capacity of 5 million alone, thus doubling Tesla's capacity again. So let's run that through again. 2022, if Fremont and Shanghai do just 1 million, and Texas and Berlin just do 1 million, then that's 2 million for 2022. Tesla reach around full capacity for Texas and Berlin at 3 million combined. Sure, the capacity might be twice that, but let's just use the more believable numbers. In 2023, a new Model 2 factory opens with perhaps 4 million capacity, and that will likely achieve full capacity by 2025. Again, numbers. 2021, around 900,000. 2022, 2 million. 2023, 3.5 million. 4 million run rate by the end of the year. 2024, 6 million. 2025, 8 million, with a Model 2 factory ramped up as well as Berlin and Texas. Okay, that could be some believable rough numbers for deliveries. But after the Model 2 factory, assuming that's what the 4th Gigafactory, as Elon calls it, refers to, then the next one after that will be very interesting. Will Tesla just double down on the Model 2? Is it possible it's such a valuable form of transport, Tesla can truly just start a factory on every continent and offer a lower cost of transport to either purchase a Model 2 or use a robotaxi? They could do well in all sorts of locations. Think of the infrastructure Tesla could create in a variety of nations, especially when battery storage and solar become more popular. So realistically, that probably is about where I see Tesla's growth, and possibly 8 million vehicles a year by 2025. When I say realistically, to be honest, I couldn't see how the capacity for all the factories could be much lower than 4 million even. Fremont and Shanghai alone could probably hit 1.5 million easily enough, and giving them until the end of 2023 to ramp them up, that's over 2 full years, when it's taken only half a year for Model Y Shanghai to hit its alleged capacity. So I think it's possible these factories, Fremont, Shanghai, Berlin and Texas, could be closer to 6 million capacity, and perhaps Tesla could ramp up to full capacity within a year, especially if they're finally making their own batteries. Yes, 6 million is not impossible for 2023, and if the next factory that ramps up, that we don't really have a name for because Elon has called it the 4th Gigafactory, but it's actually the 6th one, but maybe we'll end up referring to it as Giga 4, if that's what Elon wants to call it. Well, if that factory ramped up in 2024, then Tesla could reach 10 million. Knowing this new factory is coming, and that Tesla are likely close to a decision soon, is a really big deal. Once they make their decision, development will likely break ground fast, as this could potentially be twice the size of Texas. It may even take longer to build. If Tesla announced 2 factories, then that would be even more insane. But I would say we should only expect another factory after this one is operational by 2025. Tesla are targeting 50% growth. They're likely going to need some more factories to achieve this. Well, it just feels good to hear Elon talking about more growth with Tesla. So yeah, some of the competition may be catching up to Tesla in market share, but like I said, Tesla still has this much more growth, even at their current size. I'm not sure if we can say the same for the others. It's going to be tough enough for Volkswagen to be selling 1 million EVs a year by 2025. Tesla could very well be doing 10 times that by that stage. In other words, although Tesla's sales have only about 3 times what Volkswagen's are today, when Tesla get their new factories going, Tesla will leap ahead again and be doing 10 times the number of EVs than Volkswagen, which will be the legacy company selling the most EVs, if they're not bankrupt. But of course, whenever Volkswagen scale up, it does simply cost them more. They lose a few $1,000s on every ID3 that is sold, for example. What happens when you scale up to 1 million? A bit of a dilemma. Go bankrupt by selling more cars that lose money, or go bankrupt by selling less cars that don't lose money. I wonder which way will keep them alive the longest. This is another major disadvantage legacy autos have. They still lose money on every EV they sell. How can they consider ramping up a product that loses money? How can they look at investing $30 to $50 billion on a product that loses them money? A product that will continue to lose them money if they have a car dealer network, unions, and have to pay for advertising. There is very little way of getting around that. I really think they have to go through bankruptcy first to see what of value is taken out of the EV side of the legacy's business. If there is a way of selling these legacy EVs at a profit, then that's the only potential business model. Competing head-on with Tesla and hoping that in a few years, maybe the cost of the product is about break even, while still being subsidized by a failing ICE business, this is not the way to go. Oh, and the ICE business might actually be doing the opposite of subsidizing too. I mean, this is kind of crazy, right? Tesla have created this amazing crossover, the Model Y, that Volkswagen and Ford can't even produce at the cost that Tesla sell them for, or at least like for like. So rather than exploring some niches with some profitable EVs to try and carve out some form of market share with a position in some target market, instead legacy autos are going to try and compete head-to-head with Tesla. We saw it from the start with the Porsche Taycan competing with the Model S. This was before there was even a Model 3, and the Porsche used to be named the Mission E. They're trailing so far behind Tesla and then coming out with inferior products to compete head-on, and hoping their brand will be enough. Yes, we've seen this before. When Microsoft thought they could compete against the Apple iPod, Microsoft came out with the inferior Zune. It was a total flop. You can't come out with inferior specifications to an established product and try and compete with it, especially when your product costs so much more than the established one. I mean, Legacy eventually want to ramp up, but will have to compete head-to-head with what will likely be the best-selling car in the world very soon. They would need incredible economies of scale, which is very tough to achieve when someone else in the market is taking up the majority market share. The likes of the ID4 and Mach-E are totally doomed. They don't have the brand value to carry over to a premium price to squeeze a profit. And like I say, this is how hard it is for legacy autos when Tesla is supply constrained, whilst the likes of Ford are getting $7,500 tax credits. What will it be like when Tesla qualifies for a tax rebate and has 4 times the amount of supply available? Legacy autos need to find their niche as soon as possible because it's going to happen fast. Tesla are taking all the mainstream auto categories, so they need to think of something unique. Tesla can't be beaten on value for money, so no point competing in the value market segment. If they can find some profitable niches, like perhaps Porsche may be able to, possibly Cadillac, and surely many others, stick to those niches and manage to make a profit. Then, when the company goes bankrupt, there may be a profitable EV business that can be sold out of it. If not, any EV business that maintains losses will have no value when it comes to diluting all the assets. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.